Everybody. This is another live session, but there's not going to be chat involved tonight. I hope you guys can understand why. We're actually going to do a review, initial impressions of the Drive NitroSprint Rollator walking assist device. This is not your grandpa's or grandma's walker. Definitely not. And over the last few years, I have, how can I put it, I've developed some balance issues. I'm no longer as stable as I once was. A year ago, beyond last November, that would have been in November of 2023, I actually took a bad tumble while walking across town. And darn near didn't get up. It was scary. And I knew that there was something wrong then, even before I found out about the diagnosis of atrial fibrillation. But that's that. And I decided to order this device last Friday, I think it was. A friend of mine who is quite internet and tech savvy facilitated the purchase of it. I'm very grateful to him for this. And it arrived just in time, because sometime Friday evening through Saturday evening, apparently I've developed bursitis in and about my right hip, or at least I pray that's what it is. And if you've ever had bursitis or know what it is, you know just how painful it can be. And as a result, I cannot put weight on my right leg at all. It's very painful even to lay down and sleep. It is just absolutely incredible. And I have to rest it. About the only thing you can really do for it is painkillers and antibiotics, and I don't have access to antibiotics anyway. But you can rest it, apply heat, apply ice, but yeah, it's actually quite dangerous for me to try and walk. And I didn't know that was coming when I ordered this thing, but lo and behold, it came on, and the Rollator walker arrived just in time. So let's take a look at this thing, and you can see just what a beautiful thing it is. Yeah, there it is. This cost, I want to say through Amazon, with the accessories that I got with it, which included a cup holder and a cane holder, approximately $240, maybe a little more, a little less. It's made in China, but it is not cheap construction, not by any means. The welds are beautiful. It is mostly aluminum construction. There is some plastic. It has nice large wheels to it on very nice double arm casters in the front, as opposed to the plain straight nitro. It is very, very, very high craftsmanship. Some beautiful, actually the embroidery here up front even is beautiful, just beautiful. It arrives in a carton. It's already assembled, and it comes with this utility bag, which has multiple positions you can place it in. Simply put, everything you see on Drive's site about the NitroSprint is factual. About the only issues that I had when mine arrived was the fact that I needed to adjust the brakes, which are here, slightly. And it's just like a kind of like on a bicycle, where you have this upper locking knob and then this lower knob. All right, and by by twisting the upper locking knob like that, you can unlock the lower locking knob, or the lower tension knob, I should say, and turn it either outwards or back inwards as necessary. Mine arrived with the brake on one side a little bit too loose. Here you can see where the brake rides across this flange, this running surface of the brake, all right? And when you squeeze this brake like this, okay, you can see how that gap closes, and the brake shoe rides against the flange of the rear wheel. Now I adjusted mine on both sides, so there's approximately a 32nd, maybe even a 16th of room on each side between the contact point of the brake shoe and the riding flange. All right. Now, it's a little confusing in the instructions and in the description that you see on the video as to how the brakes function. All right. When there's no tension on them whatsoever, it's in full release. All right. Each handbrake only works on the corresponding side's small rear wheel. If you're going down a hill and you want to increase the amount of tension as you're walking downhill, and mind you, you don't want to use this on a large incline, because simply put, it can actually get away from you. But if you're just wanting to apply a little bit of brake pressure just to slow you down and make things a little steady and put a little resistance to it, you just squeeze this ever so slightly, and it'll help to slow you down. And of course, you can grip it a little harder. The plastic does flex a little bit, but it feels pretty durable. Of course, you're going to feel, you can see how that kind of notches as I apply tension to it and release it. Okay, I wouldn't be concerned with that. That's just simply the ribs, the cable, as they move through the cable sheets. All right, so that works the same way on both sides. Now, if you're going to park the device and use it as a seat, what you're going to want to do is come to a stop and then press this down. Okay? And when you do that, it locks the tension on the brake cable, which actually moves through the leg, the hollow leg of the device, and applies the shoe so that the wheel will not move. Now, if you try hard enough, yes, you can get the wheel to spin anyway. All right, it doesn't have very much of a contact point on that brake shoe. Okay, that brake shoe itself, I would say, is probably approximately no more than 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch thick. If you make it too strong, you actually risk possibly locking the wheel up as you're going downhill, and you can actually develop a flat spot on the wheel itself. While we're talking about the wheels, we're going to go ahead and discuss the fact that there is not a very significant tread on these wheels. All right, the wheel's running surface is a hard, very hard, rubber-like surface. All right, it's meant to be long wearing, but as you can see, there's virtually no tread to it. Okay, so if you're outside and it's say freezing rain or possibly snowing, all right, even though you lock the wheels up, this whole device could slip out from under you. So by no means is it an all-weather machine. You have to exercise common sense with something like this. You just simply have to exercise common sense. But outside of that, about the only other issue that I had was that, and mind you, this is a good thing, bad thing. One of the things that I didn't know came with the device, whoops, I just popped that off of there, is that thing, all right? And what that is a double-sided, let me see if I can reach down here and pick it up so I can show it to you. Stand by for just a second, folks. Now, mind you, I'm in a bit of pain, trying to stand up. I have to use the device right now even just to get up out of the chair I'm sitting in and steady myself so I can reach down and pick that double-handed or double-sided adapter up off the ground. So bear with me. You're going to see a dark space for a minute. Okay. I'm still here. Just give me a moment, folks. Okay, now we can go ahead and see this thing. Okay, and what this is, and this was a bit of a surprise, I didn't anticipate it. I didn't see it in any of the video reviews that I saw for the Drive NitroSprint. This device slips over. Let me turn the device so you can see where it goes. I have to release the brakes. I'm still learning how to use this, but it's a lot of fun. Well, to me it's fun. To somebody else it might be a little terrifying, but to me it's fun. But as you can see here, all right, this is the mounting point for either the optional cup holder, which I have installed on the other side, or the umbrella holder, which, or not umbrella holder, the cane holder, which I had ordered and have. Everything came all at once, no issues there. But I had intended to use the cane holder to actually hold an umbrella. And as it turns out, the cane holder itself, the clamp on it, is just a little bit too small for the umbrella I use. The umbrella I have is fairly substantial. I've had it now for probably close to 30 years. I take care of my things. And although it's not as sturdy as a cane, I can use it to steady myself from time to time. But that little, and I'm afraid I didn't bring the umbrella holder out so I could show you. But yeah, that little C-clamp that would pop around a cane as you would press it in there is just a little too small for the handle of my umbrella. But that's something that shouldn't disappoint anyone else who has to carry a cane. The other thing that I found a little bit disappointing was that although the part of the umbrella or the cane holder which mounts down low, down about here, and it just clips on and is kind of somewhat of a friction fit and has a little foot to it that extends out to the side. The upper part, which connects here and simply slips over, that mounting post is a very loose fit. So what I would recommend, if you're going to use the cane holder, is to anticipate this and possibly apply very discreetly to the inside of the cane holder, and I'll show you where, but I'll use the cup holder to show you what it is we're looking at. But you could very discreetly apply several layers of tape, like a packing tape, not a masking tape or a duct tape, but like a packing tape, And you would mount layer upon layer of that until you've actually gotten a level of friction that would hold that securely against this mounting point. That's about the only complaint I have there. Now, let's go ahead and show you this thing again. What this is, all right, this is a mounting point multiplier. There are two mounting points, one on either side, to hold either the cane holder or possibly even a cell phone holder, a smartphone holder. And by sliding this, all right, over the mounting point like this, and you'll notice there's a taper to it. So if you wanted to use this, you can't really, if you put it in this way, it's going to be backwards, all right, and it's not going to fully engage. You're going to want to make sure that the taper is forward, and you simply press down, and you gain a mounting point over here, or you still have the mounting point over here. It's just a little bit further out, and you gain another mounting point on the inside. Now, if you're relatively narrow in girth, all right, it's not going to interfere that much. If you have a broad bottom like mine, however, things are going to get caught. So it's a nice to have, but I don't really have to have it. So, but I wanted to show that to you. That was a nice thing that they included, and I think it's a very clever thing to have. Okay, now on this side, you can see the cup holder, all right? And you can see how the cup holder attaches, and it's actually much, much more secure in its attachment than the cane holder. It's just by virtue of, it could be so many things. It could be the type of plastic that was used. You have to remember, plastic will shrink over time. So it may very well come to be that mounting mating surface on the cane holder will begin to tighten up on its own. But if yours is loose, let's see if we can turn this where you can see the light. Okay, you can see that channel in there. And what you're going to want to do is take some packing tape, all right, and you're going to cut it to just narrower than the width of these channels. Another way to look at it is to measure across the surface of this mounting point, all right, from out here to over here. Okay, just measure across that. I haven't done it yet, or else I'd have the measurement for you. That's my bad. Okay, lay out some packing tape and just simply cut multiple pads of packing tape and layer them not on here, but inside the channel of the inside this channel down in here where I'm writing my finger. I don't know if you can see that. Or here, I can maybe use my pen to point. Silly me, I forgot I had a pen in my pocket. But down in here, inside, all right, that way it's out of the weather and it's discreet. And you're going to want to bring that all the way down and just a little over that breaking edge. And you layer that multiple times with that packing tape. And when I say packing tape, I mean the clear kind of packing tape that you could buy at the dollar store. It doesn't need to be fiber reinforced, although fiber reinforcement probably wouldn't hurt anything, and you're not going to see it anyway because it's hidden. But yeah, you would do that, and yeah, that should go ahead and give you enough friction to hold the cane holder in place. The cup holder, absolutely glorious, absolutely perfect. Has a nice kind of a rubbery, grippy, how can I put it? Well, I could use a word here, but it probably wouldn't fly past the sensors. But yeah, it has a nice grippy inside surface that flexes quite easily. Of course, it dismounts very easily for cleaning. And simply put, let me go ahead and take my pen and put it back in my pocket here. You go ahead and just take it, slip it over the mounting point and press down. Now, you don't want to, when you do that, you don't want to do something dumb, and press down from this outside. Okay, you could probably break that mounting point if you kept that up. You want to take and press down towards the inside here of that cup holder. All right, that way that force is extended straight down instead of in an angle, and things just slip into place. And you might want to go ahead and just give it a couple gentle karate chops, just to make sure it's seated. And that's not going anywhere. The beauty of that thing being removable, though, is that I live in a mobile home, and it's an older mobile home which has narrow doorways. All right, I can get in and out my front door with this thing. Of course, I have to go up and down stairs, which is kind of challenging at this point, because I actually have to dismount from this thing and then fold it up and then hoist it up the stairs one at a time while bearing weight on one of the rails there. It's quite a drawn out process, but I can make it at this point. But once you're inside, you're through the initial doorway. As you go through, say, for example, my doorway into my toilet, all right, I can't get through the doorway with this cup holder on here. So thank heavens they made it removable. Nonetheless, even once I get through that doorway, I still run into a pinch point where even without the cup holder, the device being fully unfolded will pinch between one wall over here and the doorway, which actually is held partway open by the doorknob of all things. And it's just about an inch or two too narrow. So what I'll do is as I approach that doorway, is that here, let me turn this around so I can show you. All right. I'll stop and apply the brakes on both sides. Okay. And then simply grab the handle and lift. Give it a good sharp lift, and you can see how the side-to-side track narrows. Okay, as long as I'm very careful and take my time, I can then still use, the device to support my weight and go through that doorway. All right. Once I'm through that doorway, I stop, set the parking brake again, and then press down to allow the device come to its full width. Now, one thing I found out quite by accident today is that there is a pinch point you want to be aware of. Okay. Now, when you open this, whoops, telling me that my orientation was wrong. Imagine that. Me being orientated wrong. Okay. There is a pinch point that you want to watch out for. There's several of them, actually. One is here. Okay. So when you push your hand down, okay, on the seat, push it down up here, and with your hands, your palm, down here. Don't let your fingers ride over. Another pinch point is here, okay? These aren't defects, folks. These are just facts of life, everything can kill you. That's just all there is to it. Everything can kill you. You have to use a little common sense. So you want to watch out for that. Another feature of these that I wasn't fully aware of, you can see the heavy-duty crossbars. These are very, very significant crossbars that help lend to the stability of these. But there's still a little allowance for flex. As you can see, I can lift a wheel here, and that wheel is still intact, or not intact, but in contact with the deck, and that wheel is also still in contact with the deck. Okay, that's a good thing, because if you're outside and you're going down a sidewalk, oftentimes sidewalks are uneven. And if you're like me and actually go across the lawn with this silly thing, lawns are almost never even, and this will help to give you, it's almost like a 4-point suspension or a 3-point suspension, because it will actually help you maintain contact and stability as it flexes. Still, remember, this is not an off-road walker. This is still a hard surface walker. You can still, like I said, on a dry day, you could go across the lawn with it, but it's not meant for cross country. Besides, if you're going cross country with a walker, you're a different breed of cat. That's all there is to it. But yeah, it's beautiful. About the only other thing that I would possibly draw attention to the manufacturer, and this isn't really a complaint. This is just an observation. Okay. The black looks very nice as an accent on these devices. However, although black is sleek and somewhat sexy in its appeal, it shows dirt and grime. As you use the device, inevitably, you are going to spill things on it, or you're going to be exposed to blowing dust, and possibly even mud in the rain if you get caught in a rainstorm. All right. Although it might appear somewhat less sleek and perhaps even dated, it probably would make more sense to have made the backrest, the seat bottom, and the bag itself in more of an earth tone like tan. Of course, tan would go good year-round. People who know me know I wear typically blue jeans, khaki shirt, a gray or black vest, sometimes black trousers. During the wintertime, it wouldn't clash with something like that. And tan's a neutral color. And during the summertime, simply put, it is what it is. I wear, my camouflage trousers primarily because they don't show dust and dirt. If I wore blue jeans all the time, these things would, my pants would get very, very hot and uncomfortable, and they would get incredibly dirty right away. I don't wear shorts. I wear, my trousers like kids used to back in the day, where I actually cuff them up from the inside. And, that's just my practice. My friend Kip gives me grief to no end because, well, you're not properly blousing your trousers. Well, I do sometimes when I had mowed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that for a while right now with this bursitis. But I would cuff my trousers, these very trousers themselves. I would not cuff them, blouse them, military style, because there are hornets and ground hornets in this area, and you disturb those, and brother, you better get out of Dodge, and you better hope to heck they don't get under your clothes. It's not pretty, and they will get in through anything. So, but I'm digressing. Camouflage would be fun for the summertime, but truly a tan color for both the bag, the seat bottom, and the back. Maybe even the hand grips would have been perhaps a wiser choice. But nonetheless, all things considered, I'm very pleased with this. Very pleased with this. I was quite surprised at how much it's helped me with the pain from the bursitis that now seems to have come up over me. It's an absolute wonderful thing, and as those of you who follow me on YouTube know, last night I couldn't get outside to do a sunset, but obviously, as you can see, thanks to this wonderful drive NitroSprint, in just a few minutes, we're going to begin our sunset chant. So thank you to everyone who's tuned in this evening to watch this. Thank you to the good folks at Drive Medical for manufacturing this thing. This is not a paid announcement or endorsement. I did have to buy this out of pocket. But nonetheless, when somebody creates something that is as much of a godsend as this thing is right now in this moment, I do give credit where credit is due. And I hope that you will consider the purchase of one of these too. Going forward, I figured that this thing will probably last me about 1 year. And that's it. I paid, like I said, close to $240 for it. You can get them cheaper. Remember, you get what you pay for, kids. You get what you pay for. But sometimes, it might be a second or something with a blemish on it. This one simply has no blemishes. It's just pristine and beautiful. But I didn't buy it to just sit and stare at. So we're going to put this thing to use pretty soon. Like I said, thanks to all of you for watching. Kick in your experiences with this device in the comment, if you would. Please be respectful. And I'd like to hear your stories of how you've coped with mobility issues and balance issues, and whether you've used something like this and how it was received. So, until next time, this is your friend Bruno Biava once again, saying good luck and Godspeed, everyone, and we'll see you around town.